Boom! Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm doing my fight review on the Muratalla and Andy Cruz fight. I think it was a very, very close fight. I think my prediction was spot on, giving Muratalla the slight edge. I do think his distance managing is what made him win this fight. He didn't stay in pocket too long. He did apply smart pressure, but not reckless pressure. And that's the difference in elite level boxing, is when somebody applies pressure like Muratalla does, where he doesn't get hit as cleanly, especially fighting a fighter as accurate as Andy Cruz. I do want to point two things out. I thought somebody was going to get hurt in this fight, and nobody got necessarily stunned on a high level. Of course, they felt the power punches from each other. I think they're both good power punchers, and I think clearly Muratalla is the better power puncher. But I think his power punching is what made Andy Cruz not fight so in pocket with him. Although there was times where he stayed in there and he did some beautiful work, Andy Cruz did. But at the end of the day, I think the pressure is what won him the fight. I personally had it a draw. So when the fight is so close like that, and somebody from the TV, majority of people have it a draw or a slight favor in one person, and then the judges are sitting on three different sides of the ring, and they're seeing a lot of pressure, they tend to favor the pressure fighter in a close fight like that based off the angle they get. And sometimes, especially with that 118, 110 card, they're not even looking at all, because, you know, that 118, 110 card was complete garbage. That judge needs to go get checked or go back on his meds. But I do want to point out some things about Andy Cruz. I love watching this dude fight. I think he has a higher ceiling than Muratalla. I think he has more potential to be unlocked. I can only imagine how he's going to be once he has 10 to 12 fights. I know he has a high amateur background and try to take the Vasily Lomachenko approach, where, yo, let's just throw him in with the wolves. And that could benefit him. I think he learned something. This is the highest level he's fought as a professional. He went 12 rounds. He didn't seem too tired. So I think a couple more fights on this level, I wouldn't necessarily put him in with the best right away. I would probably give him another like 2 fights with A-level, B-level fighters, and then put him in with another title fight, whether they want to stay at 130 or, go to 130 or stay at 135. I do think he actually landed the cleaner punches, because he landed those straight punches. Muratalla didn't land too many straight punches. A lot of his punches were looping punches. He did land that left hook clean quite a few times, but the straighter punches that were landed were from Andy Cruz, because he's so skilled. He could punch in between the guard, and it was beautiful to watch. It's almost like a less in pocket James Toney. You know, James Toney, he stayed in the pocket, and I don't think Andy Cruz could stay in the pocket as much as James Toney could, but he did. So he was able to do good work off the ropes. Again, I just think Muratalla was just putting smart pressure on Andy Cruz. And sometimes those little flurries, little punches would sneak in. They would snap his head a little bit. And I think the judges just saw that. Again, I had it a draw, but I'm not against Muratalla winning a close decision. Again, that 118 card, that dude needs to go back on his meds. Muratalla, he did as good as he possibly could have done. If you had to look at one of the two fighters and who could have done a little bit better, it probably would be Andy Cruz, because Andy Cruz, he's clearly the more talented of the two by a small margin, but it's just more natural to him. Those counter punching, the jab just came out. For a person who's never fought 12 rounds before, he was not tired at all, comparatively speaking to what I've seen other fighters fight 12 rounds. So he clearly has a high ceiling. He clearly could get better. He's only 30 years old, so I think his prime might be a year or two from now. He should probably go down to 130 if he can do it safely, or just stay at 135. But there is tough competition at 135. Muratalla goes up to 140 or tries to fight Shakur. There's always Floyd Schofield, and Floyd Schofield is a problem on a high level. He might be top of the food chain if they put him in with the rest of the 135 champs. But then they got Abdullah Mason, so 135 is still cooking up, man. It's still a tough division. Andy Cruz, I think, had potential to do a little more. His lack of experience on that level is what I think cost him. I know he was training with Bozy, and I think they're doing a phenomenal job. I think they should keep training. I think he shouldn't change trainers. Stay with him, get used to him, and get more out of it. Muratalla, he's just so disciplined. He knows. What I liked about Muratalla was that whenever Andy Cruz was putting on a little show, showing off his boxing skills, he kind of knew like, okay, I got to pressure. When he lost a round, clearly the next round, he tried to apply that pressure. It was tough to say when somebody won more than 2 rounds in a row, right? Because it was just so close. But Muratalla knew, like, in order for me to stay in this fight, I got to apply smart pressure, and that smart pressure is what ended up winning the fights for him. Future for both of them. Andy Cruz, if you can make 130 safely, you could go dominate that weight class, win a title there, go back up to 135, fight these top dudes. Muratalla, he said he wants to go to 140 and fight the winner of Shakur and Teofimo. If Shakur loses, Shakur could go down to 135. If Shakur wins, he said he would go down to 135. So I think Muratalla has plenty of options right now. He fought the best fight he could. Maybe 140 might be better suited for him because he is kind of like dense. I don't know how much longer he can make 135 without affecting his performance. So with that being said, guys, Muratalla did phenomenal. Andy Cruz did phenomenal. This is what boxing is about. This was elite level boxing. I know the names ain't completely up there, but let me tell you, both of them are more than capable of having phenomenal careers. And I want to put it one more thing. I want to say, my man Jesse Hart got robbed. All right. Khalil Coe did not win that fight. I don't care what anybody says. Jesse Hart got robbed. Broad day. It is what it is, man. But yeah, that's my fight review for it. If you like boxing, subscribe, like the channel. We talk boxing over here. I'm going to give my Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios prediction coming up this week. At some point, I'm going to make that video. But with that being said, guys, like and subscribe, baby. I'm out.